Open your Impact checking account today. Insured by NCUA, official credit union of Florida Atlantic University Athletics.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Risen for Theo, and we're talking storylines in football.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
The man your man could smell it.
Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
Streaming live on YouTube.
You're gonna break up with me because of what I do on the radio?
Here's Theo Dorsey.
Yeah. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to all in beautiful West Palm Beach and all over the world. This is Theoretically Speaking. Mike Rizzo filling in for Theo. Damian Perez co-hosting and producing, hitting the ones and twos here at the City Place Studios. Theo in my hometown, Cleveland, Ohio. Christian in I was about to say my second hometown because no, that'd be West Palm Beach now. But a city I used to be a frequent flyer at in Chicago, Illinois. And Damian and I holding things down. We'll have Christina Costanza on 3:30. Happy hour with Tina and then Jonathan Zazzle at 3 o'clock. Looking forward to catching up with Zaz. Listen, folks, ton of storylines in football, and that's the theme of the show today. Tons of storylines in football. You got your preseason games well underway on the NFL side. College football, things are really starting to heat up. You're 2 weeks out. Dame, we're 2 weeks out, 14 days away.
We made it.
From week 0.
Yes, sir. We made it. A long off season, but we're finally here, the final stretch.
14 days away from meaningful college football games. So we're going to go through the storylines coming up in the NFL, in college football. But before we get into all that, we got to break down what happened in preseason. That's how you know, Riz, that I'm starving for football. I'm breaking down preseason action last night. You got that right. Damian, Anthony Richardson, the hell happened last night?
Did you see the play by chance?
His pinky was pointing the wrong direction. Let's hear from Shane Steichen, by the way. If you didn't see, Anthony Richardson dislocated pinky. I am reading today on ESPN.com that Richardson could return as early as Saturday with the dislocated pinky, but it was a gruesome scene. That pinky was pointing, as Patrick Starr says, that thing was pointing west. Let's hear Shane Steichen talking about the injury after the game.
Injury update first. Anthony, pinky finger on the throwing hand. He's feeling all right. You know what I mean? It's a dislocation. They pop back in. I mean, we'll see, where it goes. Yeah, it's a 5-man protection right there, and that's the hot side right there, and that's what happened.
My God, the hot side. A sauna. That was a sauna on that left side. Nobody touched the edge rusher, by the way. And I believe Ojabo. Yeah. Ojabo. David Ojabo. Not going to say where he played his college football. It's the team up north, put 2 and 2 together. But Ojabo, just a free lick, as we used to call it at football practice, on the quarterback. And Richardson went down like a sack of potatoes.
Is that a projected starter by chance?
That finger was, I'd assume not. You got, the Ravens have a ton of great edge rushers in and out. I'm assuming rookie, not going to start. But regardless, Dame, just a free lick. And that's what they were asking. This was Shane Steichen was talking about in that post-game press conference. He called it the hot. Play it again, Dame. Play Shane Steichen again. I want to hear what he called it again. The hot what?
Injury update first. Anthony, pinky finger on the throwing hand. He's feeling all right. You know what I mean? It's a dislocation. They pop back in. We'll see, where it goes. Yeah, it's a 5-man protection right there, and that's the hot side right there, and that's what happened.
5-man protection, and that's the hot side. My gosh, completely just the pass protection wasn't there. There was no answer for that edge rush. That was the freest lick that you're going to see. But it's looking like, Dame, hindsight 2020, it's looking like he's going to be able to come back Saturday. The injury isn't something that's probably going to hold him up. He might even play more preseason games after this. But the guy you heard from there, Shane Steichen, I've looked at a bunch of lists, We did, when I filled in for Theo 2 shows ago, we basically asked the question, which coaches are on borrowed time? My number one coach was Mike McDaniel, followed by Brian Dable. But Damian, a lot of the lists that I looked at had Shane Steichen pretty high up there because of the quarterback situation. Richardson goes out, but don't worry. Batman's coming to save the day in Daniel Jones. That is an absolute nightmare of a quarterback room. People say Cleveland has a nightmare quarterback room. I think Indianapolis it is giving everybody a run for their money as far as the worst quarterback room in the NFL. Jones comes in and completes half of his passes, throws for about 140 in a preseason game. But Dame, are you kind of buying Steichen being on the hot seat because of the lack of quarterbacks in that room for Indianapolis?
No, it has to be. And in a division where it's not the toughest division, you figure the Colts should be one of the candidates every year. And basically, we're still asking ourselves who the starting quarterback is going to be.
Yeah, and I just stated Daniel Jones, Anthony Richardson. That's not needle moving. The storyline for Cleveland. We'll get to that later. But the storyline for the Cleveland Browns, a team in quarterback hell, has been they have 4 and they don't know who they're going with. Indianapolis has 2. I probably would rather be in Indianapolis' situation, but and it wouldn't be preseason, Damian, if we didn't have a tie. We had a tie yesterday with Raiders and the Seahawks. Does that not scream preseason football 101? Now, listen, folks, this isn't me hammering the hammer to say we should have had overtime. We do not need overtime in preseason. My God, that's the last thing you need in preseason football is overtime. But 23-23, the Seahawks and the Raiders end up tying yesterday. Geno Smith played one drive, went 1 of 3 for the Las Vegas Raiders. And yes, you heard that right. Geno Smith on the Raiders now, playing his former team in the Seattle Seahawks. Aiden O'Connell did majority of the quarterback play in this one. Drew Lock throwing for $140 with a touchdown and an interception. But the story there, ended in a tie. And Jalen Milroe, how about that?
He had a decent game.
Missed that. Jalen Milroe, 3 carries for 38 yards and 61 yards through the air. Probably against third stringers at that point. But Jalen Milroe, former Alabama quarterback, seeing some action in preseason game number 1 for the Seahawks. And then how about, Joe Burrow, Bengals and Eagles yesterday. Eagles winning by a touchdown, 34-27.
How about Joe Burrow?
Burrow, he almost threw for 5,000 yards last night, and I think he showed you why last night. 9 of 10, 123, 2 touchdowns.
Mid-season form.
Yeah, take a break, brother. Jamar Chase, by the way, did you see Jamar completely cook the corner? 44 for 77, 4 receptions, 77 yards, and a touchdown. If you're a fantasy football player, I draft that guy. I draft Jamar Chase.
Consensus number 1.
If you're a fantasy football player, yeah, I would draft Jamar Chase. I think people are like, Riz, who am I taking in fantasy? Yeah. I would take Jamar Chase. In all reality, though, Bengals' unreal offense. The questions there for Cincinnati is defense. But that kind of wraps up your preseason wrap. Anthony Richardson's finger was pointing west. You had a tie, and then Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase in midseason form. 2 touchdowns for Burrow with a $140 through the air on 10 attempts, 9 of 10, and Jamar Chase 77 yards. Now, our next conversation is going to be storylines because you look around the NFL right now, there are a ton of storylines. I think that the thing that has dominated, the story that has dominated, in my opinion, kind of the NFL as of late is that Browns quarterback situation. And I think, Damian, a lot of it has to do with Shedeur Sanders. Would you agree? Just because of the player he is and the kind of hype that he generated being at Colorado.
And it got added the night of the draft after he kept dropping. I feel like that also plays a big role into this. The fact that Dylan Gabriel got taken over him. But like you said, Shedeur's with the last name that he carries, that burden of expectation that he carries, only got magnified the more he dropped in the draft.
Yeah, and I think with it, who his dad is as well, being prime time, the Browns drafting Dylan Gabriel, drafting Gabriel in the 3rd, and then to your credit, Dame, going and taking Shedeur Sanders. But Stephen A. Smith was on First Take this morning talking about Shedeur. Now, Shedeur's going to start tonight for the Browns. That was kind of 2-3 days ago news. Browns taking on Carolina coming up tonight. I think that Carolina didn't sign up for the circus that has probably showed up there at preseason game number 1 with Shedeur Sanders. But regardless, Shedeur's going to get a start, and he's going to get an opportunity. And Stephen A. talks about that opportunity that Shedeur is going to have tonight.
There's nothing definitive. There's no finite, specific individual that you can point to and say without a shadow of a doubt, that's our guy. That's the best scenario for Shedeur to be in. The fact that there's so many question marks around everybody else. But that still doesn't mean he doesn't have to perform. He's got to perform.
So Dylan Gabriel and Kenny Pickett are out in the game. It's funny. Damien and I, during our pre-show meeting, he goes, Riz, Gabriel Pickett out. All the same injury, the hamstring too. The hamstring bug bit that quarterback room about a week.
Flacco's also out.
Yeah, Flacco, they were never going to play him. He's a veteran. I don't personally think he needs to play in preseason. And Dame, I know you're going to be asking me that later on. My thoughts about kind of if guys should be playing in preseason or not. Flacco is a seasoned veteran, a Super Bowl winner. Took this Browns team to the playoffs no less than 2 years ago. There's no reason Flacco needs to play in these games. I think maybe you play Flacco in the second game. If you're going to play Flacco, you play him in the second game because there's only 3 weeks of preseason now, and that second game is kind of turned into the quote-unquote dress rehearsal. So if Flacco plays, if any, I think it's going to be in that second game. But Gabriel will pick it out with hamstrings. You got Snoop Huntley. I told you, Dame, as a Brown fan, I don't want to see Snoop Huntley till the fourth quarter final drive. Do we agree on this?
Yeah, you know what you're getting from him.
I'd give Sanders damn near the whole game. I'd give Sanders 3.5 quarters. There is no reason. I know what Snoop Huntley is. Listen, Snoop Huntley was here in Miami last year. Had a chance to take that quarterback room by the horns and really run away with it. And listen, and this is with all due respect to Snoop Huntley, he didn't do that. He didn't play very well last year. He knows the system too. He played for Kevin Stefanski last year, 2 years ago, before he went off to Miami. Snoop Huntley knows Stefanski's system. Stefanski, head coach for the Browns. No reason for him to play more than 2 drives tonight, which should come at the end of the third quarter. How much do you think Shedeur plays?
I'll give it 3 quarters. Why not? Yeah. 5th round pick. I mean, you really don't have much to lose if you're the Cleveland Browns. Why not?
It's a good measuring stick to see what he can be, too. It's going to be against second and third stringers, guys competing for jobs. But I think, with the storyline, we're doing storylines around the NFL and college football, and we're starting with the NFL folks. With Cleveland, they're the biggest storyline because of Sanders and Gabriel and the mess. What else is new? The Browns in the news because it's a mess, because you don't know who the quarterbacks are going to be. And our good friends at Hard Rock Bet, by the way, 4.5. That over-under win total for Cleveland is 4.5. That's why they're in the news, and that's their storyline heading into the year. Now, the next team I want to move on to, which I believe, this list that I have compiled, I think are the biggest storylines, in my opinion, heading into the 2025 season. I think number 2 is the Chicago Bears. How can it be? The Bears, a team starving for quarterback play. At this point, too, throw head coach in there as well. They're starving for good head coaching. They have not had good head coaching since, I would say, they had one good year of Nagy. Matt Nagy, by the way, who I called in Peoria, hashtag the clueless one. Nagy had one good year in 2018 where it was the Cody Parkey game, missed the field goal, and they lost in the playoffs. But that was the year they traded for Khalil Mack, that they really, truly went all in. But Chicago is right there. Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson, the expectations. And that's another thing, too, Dane. Put that at number 3. Expectations. The expectations are there for Bear fans. I think it's there for fans of the NFL and people who enjoy watching good football. Caleb Williams, there's a lot surrounding him. Colin Russo and I, and Russo and Rizzo yesterday, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., we called him one of the most scrutinized players in sports yesterday. And he really is. For everything that he generated in college, winning the Heisman Trophy, being the no doubt generational talent, number 1 pick at the quarterback position, similar to John Elway and those of years past. This is, I don't want to say this is make or break. I think Caleb's going to have at least 2 more years. He's going to play out that rookie contract in Chicago, and I think he's going to get all the chances he could get. But you really look at last year and what he was able to do at the starting quarterback position, I don't think a lot of people were impressed. I wasn't. Dane, did you like what you saw from Caleb Williams last year?
I think he had a good season.
Really?
Well, if you look at it for a rookie quarterback, it was a good season. Not compared to the expectations coming in and what we know Caleb Williams can do. Now, what I will say is I don't think he had the necessary adjustments. There was adjustments that he needed to make early in the season, and I don't think we saw those adjustments.
To your point, 3,500 yards, 20 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Got sacked 68 times, had a rating at 87.8. To put things in perspective, Tyson Bagent, the backup quarterback, people at some point were at the end of the year calling for him to play to save Caleb Williams. I'm happy Caleb ended up playing out all of the games. I think he needed to get those reps and to get those NFL style. I like this. I like that Williams is going into year 2 with Ben Johnson. I think coaching didn't do him any help either. Coaching with Matt Eberflus and Shane Waldron to start the year. Eberflus fired midseason. Waldron fired before Eberflus. So I think the Bears and where they're at and expectations and their quarterback and coach, I think that is the storyline. That is the storyline. A team starving for quarterback play, starving for a household coach, and to be able to compete in that division with the likes of Green Bay, who's ran that division for 3 decades, and now Detroit. You know, Detroit's been the team to beat in that division, and not to mention even the Vikings. I mean, how about the Vikings with what they've been able to do over the last year, winning 14 games last year, and getting a wild card game and getting a playoff game. All right, next is Dallas, Dame. The Dallas Cowboys. Now,
A lot going on over there.
I think last year I don't want to say they because the coach isn't there anymore. Mike McCarthy, the guy who I think was responsible for a lot of what happened. Now, Dak Prescott got hurt. But the Cowboys need to get back to their winning ways. 2023, 2022, 2021. They won 12 games. The Cowboys won 12 games in the regular season. We'll get to the playoff success and if they've had success in the playoffs in a second. But the Cowboys won 12 games 3 years in a row, 2023, 2022, 2021. That's what I think. They got to get that back in order. They got to get back to their winning ways in the regular season. You got to have a good regular season in order to get a chance at some playoff success. The next storyline that I think is dominating that team is Micah Parsons. I mean, that's probably number one. Once again, this is my personal opinion. The Micah Parsons situation, the reason I don't have that number one is because I think he's going to be a Cowboy. Damien, we've asked this all week long with the Parsons drama. I'm sure this is the 6th time on this station that someone has asked you this question. But is Micah Parsons going to be a Cowboy when the season starts? And yes. I agree, Dame. Like I don't even think it's worth getting into more than that because if you look at what happened with CeeDee Lamb last year, believe we were a couple of preseason games in.
Dak Prescott's another one.
Yeah. Jerry pays. He's just going to pay on his time. He's going to,
I believe it was the day before the first game of week 1 last year or the year before for Dak Prescott.
He's going to throw his power around. He's going to let you know that he's Jerry Jones and he's in charge and what he says goes. It's the way he is. Have you worked for that boss before? I have.
For Jerry Jones?
Yeah. They're like that kind of boss. I've worked for that kind of boss before.
Yeah, where
I'm the boss and I'm going to let you know about it.
It's like a reality show at all times.
Fair play. You run the company. You own the company. Fair play to you. You can run it how you want. Well, the players can't stand it, but it's how it is. Old school guy. Jerry Jones. Micah Parsons will get paid. And then obviously Dame, playoff success. This is if you ask the Dallas Cowboy locker room, they're trying to win a Super Bowl, and this one is number one. You had the Cowboys win a playoff game 2 years ago in Tampa Bay. They beat an ancient Tom Brady, and that's with all due respect to the GOAT Tom Brady, who I think is the greatest quarterback of all time. But it was Brady's final year in the NFL, and you kind of thought, like, all right, this is probably the end, and it was. And Dak Prescott and the Cowboys were able to win a road playoff game against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. So that's everything for Dallas. Get back to your winning ways in the regular season. Once again, 2023, 2022, 2021, you won 12 games. Get back to your winning ways. Get Micah Parsons paid, which we think is going to happen, and get that elusive playoff success that Jerry Jones really hasn't had. What? Des Bryant, horrible call in Green Bay. The lack of, or rather the push-off that they said, but one of the worst calls in NFL history that does the famous Des Bryant play in Green Bay. That was really the last time the Cowboys in the thick of it for a Super Bowl in the playoffs. All right, my fourth team. Look no further than beautiful South Beach, Florida. Mike McDaniel has the hottest seat in football. And I think it's rightfully so. I know there are a couple of Dolphin fans out there, and even our very own Christian Cat, who blames Chris Greer, more GM of the Dolphins, more than he blames Mike McDaniel. But what I think happened there is you lost the locker room last year. You lost all control. You can't do that, Dame. I don't care what sport you're playing. If you are the coach and you lose control of the players and the players start doing whatever the hell they want, saying whatever the hell they want to the media, it's the beginning of the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of what has been lacking in Miami, that veteran presence, that leadership. And McDaniels, being a young coach, really needs to buy into that, and I don't think we have that in Miami.
Now, Dame, I wrote number 2 here, Tyreek, LOL. It's straight up, Tyreek, LOL. Laugh out loud. I mean, can it get any worse?
Did you see him yesterday with a Tua jersey? I think they were getting on a bus. He had a Tua jersey on.
Can it get any worse, folks? I mean, listen, maybe that's in a weird way. That's Tyreek Hill's way of fixing things. But I think anybody you ask in that building, off record, they're probably going to tell you that it's time for Tyreek Hill to go. That's probably what they're going to say. And I think anyone with eyes can see it's a distraction right now. Hey, Tyreek, how do you fix things on third down? Well, let's make sure our starting running back isn't in the game. Okay? Interesting choice of words. That's number 2, storyline for the Miami Dolphins. So Mike McDaniel, Tyreek Hill, and then Tua. Whenever you have Tua as quarterback, you got to ask the question, you're going to be healthy all 17 games. Almost said 16. You're going to be healthy all 17 games. Damian Perez, is Tua... Hang on. Where's Christian's hockey here? Is Tua
Tanga Bailoa.
going to be healthy all year?
I sure hope so. I sure hope so. And I think the Dolphins, that's what they went for in the offseason. They got a few O-linemen. So that's I feel like that was the priority, to keep Tua upright, keep him healthy. And like you said, that's really what the Dolphins need this season. And I'm very hopeful that he will be. But I don't know. I can't answer that.
Dame, you there, buddy? Do me a favor. Ask me if Tua is going to be available for all 17 games as we get close here to the regular season.
How many games will Tua play, Mike?
Well, first off, he's not going to play all of the games. I hope he plays double digits. I would set the over-under at 10. Is that fair?
That's very low.
Is 10 fair?
I don't think that equates to playoffs, so no.
Let's quit before we move on to our next team here. Let's look at Tua's strat. Maybe I'm being the one unfair. Let's look at how many games he's played over his career.
And this dates back to college, not just in the NFL.
Yeah, but we'll just focus on the NFL here. 2020, year 1, 10 games. 2021, 13. 2022, 13. 2023, fair play, 17. 2024, 11. I think 10's fair. 11, 13, 13, and 10. Now, let's give him credit for 2023. Played every game and playoffs. But 11, 13, 13, and 10. I think 10 is a fair over-under for Tua. Something good. And let me write that down for Zaz. I think that's a good question for Jonathan Zazzle, voice of the 305, who's going to be joining coming up at 3 o'clock.
But to play a little devil's advocate, I think the upside is there. We saw what Tua can do with a full season. He did it in 2023. And Tyreek Hill, he had a wrist injury last year that was kind of nagging the entire season. Now, I know it's been a kind of a roller coaster this offseason with all the rumors and everything that's been said, but I feel like there is upside there for the Dolphins. Now, the chances are very slim because of health, but I feel like the upside is there in a alternate universe.
Damien, every time I look at the roster, look at the depth chart, not to mention they've lost key pieces already to injuries in the secondary, I just see a 6-7 win football team. I really do. Now, schedule, let's take a look at their schedule, because you're going to play the Patriots and the Jets twice. Now, I think the Patriots with Mike Vrabel are going to be an improved football team. I love Vrabel. I wish he was coaching my football team, but it's still a young team, and it's a team you could probably win a game against. The Jets, I think, are going to be one of the worst teams in football next year. It's probably, you could maybe say, if I was with our good friends at Hard Rock Bet, 1.5 is where I would set the Dolphins have a great chance of winning 2 games against them. At Colts, Patriots, Bills, Jets, Panthers, Chargers, Browns, Falcons. Not bad. But we know that Miami, if the last couple of years for the Dolphins, they start out hot and fizzle out. Now, last year was a different story, but in years past when they made the playoffs, it was always like, Dane, they're like 9-1, and then they poop down their leg in the second half of the year.
Especially when it gets cold.
Mike McDaniel is 7-13 from week 8 on. Just to put things in perspective, 7-13 on from week 8 on during his tenure with the Dolphins.
Do you think that's injury related, or do you think he kind of gets figured out towards the end of the season?
I don't think it's a sense of getting figured out. I think there is something to be said about playing in cold weather. And I know people would disagree with me on that, but you have too much evidence that this team doesn't do well in the cold. Now, I think against the Kansas City Chiefs, the last playoff game they played, I don't think anybody was winning that game. You're playing against Patrick Mahomes. And listen, Damien, I grew up in Cleveland. I spent time in Peoria, Illinois. I know cold, bro, okay? I'd be cold in that weather. You know what I'm saying? I'd be cold in that weather in that playoff game that was played in Kansas City. So outside of that game, I would take the evidence that the Dolphins have in playing in cold weather and take it for face value. I would. That'd be the only game that I think would be the outlier because I don't think anybody would beat Patrick Mahomes in that weather at that point in time. Before we take a timeout, Dame, two more. I got two more. San Francisco and New York Giants. So San Francisco, I mentioned that Dallas needs to get back to their winning ways in the regular season. We gave them a little leash because Dak Prescott got hurt last year, and they were in transitions of getting rid of Mike McCarthy. I think all year long, everyone knew McCarthy was going to be gone. But the San Francisco 49ers, get back on track. Get back on track. You got Brock Purdy paid. Purdy had some injuries last year as well, similar to Dallas. But you got Brock Purdy paid. You got rid of Debo. You got rid of some guys who didn't want to be there anymore. You reloaded again in free agency. Now, you brought up something interesting about McCaffrey, though, Dame.
Yeah, it's that injury. You know, his situation, it reminds me of Todd Gurley. When you're dealing with things like tendonitis, arthritis, like those are things you really can't fight against. And a player with the miles that McCaffrey has and the age, with everything that happened last year with the injury, I would be a bit worried about his health this coming season. And ultimately, the 49ers' success kind of is influenced highly with McCaffrey's success or McCaffrey's health.
Yep, and to that point, what you ended with there, I think that team goes as far as McCaffrey goes, maybe. Now, people would argue the quarterback. This is a quarterback league. All right, I'll listen to that. But I think McCaffrey, since he came to San Francisco, when they're competing, he's put that team on a different level. They were an overtime away from winning a Super Bowl against the greatest quarterback. Let me rephrase. They were an overtime away from winning a Super Bowl against who might be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time in Patrick Mahomes. Did you like how I saved myself there? You know, Tom Brady's the GOAT. But regardless, they were an overtime away from beating Mahomes in Kansas City. And a lot of it had to do with McCaffrey. A lot of it had to do with Purdy. A lot of it had to do with staying healthy. Got to get lucky. The health thing is damn near luck. Who's going to be healthy for a full season in the NFL? You're never going to be fully healthy, but you hope that the injury bug doesn't bite some of the players that are more, I guess, important.
And timing is a big one, too.
Correct. So San Francisco, get back on track. And I mentioned Mike Vrabel being one of my favorite head coaches, want to coach my football team. Kyle Shanahan, I've had a man crush on him since he was my offensive coordinator in Cleveland under Johnny Manziel. The Giants, the New York Giants, they're coaching for their jobs. It's that simple. And who's coaching for their jobs? Head coach Brian Dable and GM Joe Sheen. I don't think Russell Wilson's cutting it. I don't think Jackson Dart's cutting it. I don't think Tommy DeVito's cutting it. And I don't think Jameis Winston is cutting it. How about that quarterback room? What do we begin the segment with? That Indianapolis and Cleveland have miserable quarterback rooms? Well, the Giants are right there. Now, good news for the Giants. Russ will be able to be serviceable.
Yeah, and they know who started.
Russ will be serviceable. I don't think Russ is going to lead the 2-minute drill anymore and win games like he did under Pete Carroll in Seattle. But he'll dink and dunk his way to 6-7 wins. Agreed? He'll dink and dunk to 6-7 wins, and then you hope Jackson Dart could be the answer at quarterback. And even if you don't like Dart, probably going to have a high draft pick next year in a quarterback-rich draft. We think, because is Arch Manning going to come out?
Will he?
This next NFL season. We'll talk about that next, folks. Once again, this is Theoretically Speaking. Mike Rizzo, Damian Perez filling in for Theo Dorsey and Christian Catt. Storylines. It's storyline day in football. I just talked about some of the biggest storylines, I think, in the NFL. Again, the teams I listed was big storylines. Cleveland, Chicago, Dallas, Miami, San Francisco, and the New York Giants. Next, we'll go through a couple of the college teams that we think have massive storylines heading into the year. We'll touch on all the Florida teams, and we'll touch on Texas, Penn State, Clemson, LSU, Bama, Florida. And you see what shirt I'm wearing today? See what shirt I'm wearing today, Dame?
Is that the national champions?
Yeah. The Ohio State Buckeyes. When we come back, we'll do more of that, Theoretically Speaking, on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hey, it's Theo, and I've asked you this before, I'll ask you again. Is your air or water flowing perfectly in your home? If the answer is no, EDS is yes. That's right. EDSisyes.com. They have been servicing Palm Beach County and the greater area since 2006, keeping you cool, keeping me cool. And you know I like my house nice and breezy, especially as the temperatures are rising. The summer months, they are hitting us in the face like a pound of bricks, and you got to make sure your AC is on point. EDS is Palm Beach County's trusted AC and plumbing expert. They'll make sure your air and water flow perfectly so you can relax in comfort. And best of all, you know this, they have flexible financing options. Your budget will not stand in between you and the comfort you deserve. I have the Gold Plan. That gives me 2 checkups every year, as well as 15% off repairs. Go online, check it out yourself. See if you can use the good people at EDSIsYes.com. Call today or visit the website. When comfort matters, EDS is yes. Get ready, South Florida. It's the 12th annual Boca Raton Bowl. Tuesday, December 23rd, 2 p.m. at FAU's Flagler Credit Union Stadium. 2 of the best group of 5 teams go head-to-head in the ultimate holiday showdown. Over 150 players have gone from this field to the NFL. Who's next? Visit BocaRatonBowl.com for the latest, including when tickets will go on sale. The 12th annual Boca Raton Bowl, Tuesday, December 23rd, 2 p.m. at Flagler Credit Union Stadium.
It's anything but the dog days of summer at DQ Grill and Chill. All August long, grab a 4-piece chicken strip basket, crispy, golden, and delicious for just $7.49. And cool off with our blizzard of the month, Reese's Caramel Craze, packed with peanut butter cups, salted caramel truffles, and chocolate cone dip. And the classic Superman Blizzard is sticking around for one last month. Come chill with us at DQ Grill and Chill. 2 locations, 4828 Lake Worth Road and US 1 just south of North Lake.
Don't just stand there. Everything you need to turn $1 into an epic win is in your hand. Hard Rock Bet. Bet it, parlay it, boost it, however you want to do it. From wherever you are to the moon. Bet anytime a line, prop, or parlay catches your eye. And withdraw cash when you want it. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us. New players bet $5 and get $150 instantly in bonus bets. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
The sounds of summer are all around us. Whether it's an epic pool party or that road trip you've always dreamed of. The one sound that's there for every summer moment? The sound of an ice-cold Coca-Cola. This summer, pick up a Coke at your closest retailer and enjoy. Brought to you by Coke Florida, your local Coca-Cola bottler, serving local communities for 10 years.
Experience the power and prestige of the new 2025 Range Rover Sport P530 Dynamic SE. Now available for lease at just $15.29 a month for 36 months. With $89.95 due at signing, you'll be behind the wheel of true luxury and performance. But hurry, offers like this don't last forever. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and drive the future of sophistication. Land Rover, above and beyond.
Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs, installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or bradleyair.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's Theo Dorsey, and I'm feeling hot, hot, hot. Temperatures are up, but your water shouldn't be full of mystery floaties. Culligan's got your back with water testing and reverse osmosis systems to keep things clean, cool, and crisp this summer. And get this, you can try it for just $10 a month. Stay cool, stay hydrated, and stop drinking who knows what. Visit Culligan.com today to schedule your free water test.
Hey, Culligan man!
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
No Theo Dorsey. You got Mike Rizzo filling in for Theo. Damian Perez filling in for the Cat, Christian Cat. Theo in Cleveland. Christian in Chicago. Our boys went to the Midwest, huh?
They're out there.
Great spot to be in the summer, brother.
I have never
Great
been,
spot
but that's
to be in
all
the
I
summer.
hear.
Unreal summers. Obviously, growing up in Cleveland, I think Cleveland's the best summer. And then Chicago. You ever been there in the summer?
Nope.
Or you just said you didn't?
Nope.
Dude,
Never been to Chicago.
Lake Michigan and the playpen in the summer. Oh my God.
That's all I hear.
Dude, my friend Allie so let's put it this way. She knew somebody who had a boat. And when I would drive up to Chicago, my girlfriend and I, we would meet up with Allie and her friend, and we would just go on the boat, playpen, whole 9 yards. So much fun.
That's
dude.
the best.
Chicago is so much fun, bro.
And I feel like boating in a lake is different from the ocean. It's less choppy, so there's more to do.
Now, I got good news. We're 14 days away to college football. And I know I keep saying that. And I know I keep sounding like a broken record. But do you want something even better? We're 27 days away until Eagles and the Cowboys. We're under 30 days away from meaningful NFL football. Now, I love baseball. All right, I do. I love baseball. And then, Damian, I think Colin and I got you into baseball this year.
Yeah. I actually took the futures that you guys gave at the beginning of the season. I've been riding it all season.
We're going to sweat out our Guardian one, brother. We're going to sweat that one out because it's going to come close.
And the D-backs.
Oh, I think we're toast. We're toast on that. They sold at the deadline. We're pretty toast on that one. But regardless, we're very, very close to football season, folks. And on the show today, we've been talking about storylines. We did our NFL storylines in segment 1. We went through the Browns, the Bears, the Cowboys, the Dolphins, the Niners, and the Giants. We touched on the preseason games. Anthony Richardson, his pinky was pointing, as Patrick Starr says, Weast. You had a tie. Does that not scream preseason football? A damn tie? Really?
Really quick, Mike.
No one wants overtime football in the preseason, Dame.
Nobody wants it. I understand why overtime wasn't played, but imagine if you had either team's money line.
Yeah, the betting side was tough last night. What the hell happens? Do they?
I mean, I guess it's a push. I'm not sure.
I mean, maybe that
you can't bet the draw.
Yeah.
So I would assume
our good friends at Hard Rock Bet probably had to avoid a lot of tickets. I'm assuming last night on that preseason game. And then Joe Burrow. I mean, looked like an MVP last night. 9 out of 10, 2 touchdowns at $150. Jamar Chase, by the way, you should take him number 1.
They should have done They should have done a penalty shootout with field goal kicks.
You should take Jamar Chase number 1 in the draft, folks. But you want to know who damn well very might be the number 1 pick in the draft one day? That's Arch Manning. And we're going to do our college storylines now. And I wanted to start it with Texas because not only are they playing the Ohio State University and the National Champ Defenders. By the way, that's the Ohio State University National Champ Defenders for those in the back. But the storyline in that game and with Texas is Arch Manning. It's Arch Manning's year. He's officially quarterback 1 down there in Austin, Texas. And a lot of people think he's going to be the number 1 pick coming into the draft next year. But is he going to come out? I think those are the questions we have to ask ourselves. And they asked Damian Woody, who covers the NFL, big advocate and watcher of college football as well. Damian Woody, do you believe Arch Manning is going to stay in college or is he going to go to the draft? And I think Damian Woody is on the early of what I said of staying in college.
To the point you and Graz made earlier, Peyton played at Tennessee 4 years, 45 games. Eli played at Ole Miss 4 years, 43 games. Is there really anything that can be done here to set up long-term success for Arch at the next level, this path particularly?
No, I mean, it's all about just getting reps, getting snaps. And we see the correlation. A lot of these guys that come into the league that play a lot more games, like a Bo Nix. It's not a coincidence that a guy like Bo Nix had a lot of success. Jaden Daniels played a bunch of games in college. He comes into the National Football League and has a lot of success. So I don't think the Manning family, in particular Arch Manning, is going to sway off of that. They're going to play a bunch of games in college, so they're naturally prepared for what's coming at the pro level.
I think Arch should stay 4 years, personally. What do you think, Tim?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't. This would be the first season that he starts a full season. And with NIL, I think that completely change the landscape. So I say why not.
And Damien, there's no guarantees that he would even be the number 1 pick in the draft next year. And Harry Douglas talked about that on Get Up this morning. Let's take a listen to Harry Douglas talking if Arch Manning is even one of the best quarterbacks in the nation in college football next year.
You know, he's your Heisman Trophy favorite. Everyone loves Texas this season. The win total's 10.5, which is high for a 12-win season. The kid's only thrown 95 career passes in college football. Is he even the best quarterback in college football?
No. You look at Garrett Nutzmeyer, you have Cade Klubnik, you have Drew Aller at Penn State, you have Lenore Sellers. You have a lot of guys that are in the SEC alone that you could put ahead of Arch Manning, but I would say this at the same time. The young man is surrounded by talent. They're deep at the running back position. They're deep at the wide receiver position. They have an opportunity to have the number 1 defense in the country as well. So if he goes out there and plays pitch and catch and protects the football and does everything that Steve Sarkisian, who does have the NFL background, remember, he was the offensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons at one point.
Yeah.
You go out there and you execute that offense, things are looking on the up and up for Arch Manning.
We got to give Sark some credit for turning around Texas. Don't mess with Texas. Steve Sarkisian, head coach of Texas, not only has turned that program around, but he also got Arch Manning to sit for 2 years. How about that? He got Arch Manning to sit for 2 years behind Quinn Ewers.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say that's really unheard of, but for a player of Arch Manning's caliber, a 5-star quarterback, one of the no doubt best quarterbacks coming out of his class, the pedigree that comes with being a Manning and stuff, to get him and convince him to sit out for 2 years, pretty impressive. I think Sarkisian has done a great job at Texas.
Yeah, in today's day and age, in this era, I mean, 80% of kids probably would have hit the transfer portal after the first season and a half.
Now, Dame, I don't play the second team game. People goes, what's your second team? In some of these leagues, I don't have second teams. If I were to have one, how about that? The ultimate Cardinals said, if I were to have one, it might be Texas. I've always liked Texas as a college football team.
That's interesting because that's your week 1.
I have.
OSU, Texas, week 1.
I've always kind of liked Texas. Now, Texas made me cry. What year was it, Dame? 04? 05, Tyler Hamby dropping the catch in the back of the end zone. By the way, that was the last time Texas came to Columbus. 2004, 2005, Joe Bauserman was the quarterback for the Buckeyes. And you want to know who the quarterback for Texas was? Any guesses?
Was that Vince Young?
It was Vince Young. Yeah. Vince Young, Limas Swede, Cedric Benson. About those names, bro. Okay? But yeah, that team was the last time Texas went on the road to the Horseshoe at Ohio State, and Ohio State should have won. Hamby, poor kid, had to transfer. He had to transfer because it's as bad as this is, and listen, terrible look by my fan base. They were sending him death threats, Dame. That's how bad it got. Honest to God, it's terrible. But you think that's going to be a tough week 1? Hey, Ohio State, congrats on the championship. You get the best team in Texas who has the best defense and arguably a generational quarterback coming into the shoe.
That's the thing. Texas is saying the exact same thing. That's a tough game for both teams.
Yeah, it is. But Texas, we're doing storylines, folks, in football. Did NFL in the first segment. We're on to college now. Spent a lot of time there on Texas because how can't you? The storyline is Arch Manning. Storyline is Arch Manning and Texas. I'll give you number 2 here. Texas has made the college football playoff semifinal 2 times. Sark had that team there 2 years ago with Quinn Ewers. They lost to Washington, and then last year losing to my Buckeyes. But I think Arch Manning and winning one is the 2 storylines for Texas. Penn State. Wish Christian was here for this, but Penn State, it's now or never for James Franklin. This is James Franklin's best roster that he has had. I don't even think it's close. I'm a college football snob. This is his best roster. He said you got the 2 running backs coming back in Singleton and Allen. You got Drew Aller, one of the best. You just heard Harry Douglas say he's one of the best quarterbacks in the land. I agree. He needs to play better in big games. Played bad against Ohio State in Happy Valley, where the Buckeyes won last year. Played decent enough against Oregon. Let's give him his credit. Penn State looked dead in that game. They battled back, and a lot of it had to do with Aller and how great he played in the game. But Damien, he had the nail in the coffin interception to end the game. And then last year, Colin Russo and I were front row at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami and watched Drew Aller blow the game, throwing the interception that really put the nail in the coffin. But now or never for Penn State. Now or never. They got number 1, at least in the coaches poll. Coaches are voting for them to be the number 1 team in the country. I personally think Penn State is and should be the number one team in the country to start the year. But Damian, I think our good friends in the media wanted to hype up that Ohio State and Texas game, week 1. It'd be the first ever 1 versus 2 to start the season. So I think that has a lot to do with why Penn State is a number 1. I really like this Nittany Lion team, Damian. It reminds me a lot of Michigan and Ohio State, the 2 last champions we've had in 2 years of college football. A ton returning on the defense. Did they lose Abdul Carter? Absolutely. But they have a ton returning on defense. They have Jim Knowles, my former coordinator. Turncoat! Traitor! Knowles is unreal. Helped us win a championship last year. But they got him now, the best coordinator, arguably the best defensive coordinator in the sport. Everything on offense coming back. They got 3 new receivers in the portal. You got the 2 running backs. You got Drew Aller. This team is the number 1 team in the country. Until they prove me they're not.
But is there a team with more pressure this year than Penn State?
I think Texas. No.
Texas.
I think Texas, Alabama. I got 3 for you. Texas, Alabama, and LSU. All 3 teams we'll get to in a second. Right? LSU is 0 for 3 in playoff appearances under Brian Kelly. Not only are they 0 and 3 under Kelly, they haven't won an opener. They played in 3 ridiculous neutral site openers. They haven't won any of them. And by the way, Brian Kelly, no worries. Don't get easier this year because you're going on the road to Death Valley and Clemson, Dabo Swinney. And then Alabama, those people are losing their minds. They didn't win 10 games for the first time since 2007. They had the greatest college football coach in the history of the sport for the last 2 decades. DeBoer's seat's hot. I don't care. No one can convince you that Kalen DeBoer isn't on the hot seat. Guy won 9 games last year, lost the bowl game to Michigan, made Jalen Milroe look like an average bang for your buck quarterback when Nick Saban had the kid, and the team in the semifinal was a play away from beating Michigan, the national championship winner that year. Oh yeah, Dame, plenty of teams that have more. Listen, I think Penn State fans, it's Franklin's best year, and I'm here hammering now or never, now or never, now or never. They're used to losing big games, right? They're 3-18. Franklin's 3-18 against Oregon, Ohio State, and Michigan. Guy's been there almost a decade. He's 3-18 against those teams. Sadly, that's the standard right now at Penn State. I think the storyline is to turn that standard. To turn that. Win the big one. You got a good team coming back. Beat Ohio State. Beat the Michigans. Beat the teams that you can't beat and win the big one. It's been too long. It's been since the 80s. It's been since the 80s. I remember my uncles and, it was Big East football back in the day, Miami and Penn State. Those were the teams. And then Penn State joined the Big Ten. And I remember my uncle, my Uncle Jim went to Ohio State. It really helped me get into my Buckeye fandom when I was younger. He was losing his mind that Penn State was coming to the Big Ten and telling me how much of a big get it was. And they're a good team. Like I said, I did this last year with the boys. They hated me for it. But I am scared of Penn State. As an Ohio State guy, I am scared of Penn State next year. Let's move on to Clemson. Damian, do you think Dabo Swinney and Clemson are back, bringing back Cade Klubnik, bringing back an umpteen number of starters on defense that have played 100 snaps or more? They have probably the second best wide receiver room in the country outside of Ohio State. Are you buying Clemson next year?
Yeah, I am actually. And
do they beat LSU week 1 at home?
That'll set the tone. That'll definitely set the tone. I think if they beat LSU, we can be seeing at a team that can contend for that national title.
Storyline simple for Clemson. Are you back? Are you back? You back, Dabo? Been sleeping for 5 years. You finally tinkered around in the portal when you said you weren't going to change your ways. And, by the way, I like Dabo Swinney. This isn't me going at Dabo. I think Dabo's great for college football. Got him running out. Have you ever seen that meme of him running out of the tunnel?
Yep.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
I laugh every time I see it. I think Dabo's great for college, and I think Clemson being good is great for college football. It'll prove me wrong that, I think this is a 2-conference race. I'm completely fine with the College Football Playoff Committee giving 4 guarantees to the ACC and the Big Ten. Completely fine with that. Let's take a timeout, folks. I had plenty of more teams to go through. Once again, we're talking storylines in college football. The teams we went through, Texas, Penn State, Clemson. I wanted to get to LSU, Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, and our Florida teams. We'll do that later on in the show because we got to do a get-around. We got to do a get-around presented by our great friends at Safebound. Taking a quick time out, coming right back, theoretically speaking, Mike Rizzo, Damian Perez on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hi, I'm Michael Manzo, owner and founder of Manzo's Italian Deli, and
Stop, Dad. After 20 years, people are tired of hearing your voice. Yeah, and your lame-ass commercials. Fresh prosciutto, mozzarella, outstanding. Oh, please. There's only one reason Manzo's is voted #1 deli in Palm Beach County for 20 years. Our mother. She makes sure you prepare everything from scratch using only the freshest ingredients. Mansour's Italian Deli is located on Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, right next to Rain Dancers. Is that a strip club? No, it's a steakhouse. Mansour's is open weekdays from 8 to 5 and offers free delivery. So stop by or call 697-9411. That's 697-9411.
we also specialize in hot and cold catering for corporate functions and special events.
Just ask anyone who was at my last birthday party.
Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs, installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or bradleyair.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
Breaking news on ESPN 106.3 is brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
This just in, we begin this hour with breaking news.
When news breaks, ESPN 106.3 has it covered.
We've had developments. ESPN 106.3 can now report.
When your vehicle breaks, St. Lucie Battery and Tire fixes it. Stay tuned to ESPN 106.3 for more breaking news. Brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
This fall, the Sandman, Adam Sandler, You're My Best Friend Tour.
I feel like we're very good friends now.
Kaseya Center, September 7th. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Now is your chance to embark on a behind-the-scenes tour of Miami's premier sports and entertainment venue, Kaseya Center, home of your 3-time NBA champions, Miami Heat. You will feel like you're about to suit up for Heat head coach Eric Spoelstra when you step inside the iconic Miami Heat locker room. Visit KaseyaCenter.com/tours to book your guided tour now.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is Theoretically Speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
Mike Rizzo filling in for Theo Dorsey. Damian Perez in for Christian Cat. We are Theoretically Speaking today right here on ESPN 106.3. 888-760-3776 is that number to call on in. It is the Baptist Health Hotline. The Baptist Health Hotline at 888-760-3776. Damian, let's do the Get Around presented by our great friends at Safebound.
The Safebound Get Around is brought to you by Safebound Moving and Storage, South Florida's most trusted moving company. You're safe with Safebound.
What you mean you don't know?
All right, Dave, where are we going?
Next stop.
First stop is Cleveland, Ohio, where Shedeur Sanders is starting tonight's preseason game for Cleveland against the Panthers in Carolina. Shedeur's over-under for the regular season is set at 600.5 yards. Would you go over or under?
By the way, Safe Bound Get Around, where we go city to city, topic to topic, and see what's popping. As Damien said, our first stop in Cleveland. And Dame's trying to get a little reaction out of me talking Shador and my football team. Dame, take the over. Are you kidding me? Have we learned anything about the Browns and their quarterbacks? All of them are going to get hurt, and they're all going to get opportunities. I think Shador is probably your starter of the last 3-4 games to end the year. In a perfect world, the Browns start Flacco and they compete. And I don't care what anybody says. Maybe the front office and the ownership doesn't want this team to compete next year, but Kevin Stefanski's a good football coach, and he's going to try to win games. I think Stefanski's going to start Flacco to start the year. You go from there. I think you go from there. If you're not a very good football team and you're losing games, open the door to rookies. If it's Dylan Gabriel, if it's Shador Sanders. You want to know what, Damien, quickly, can you ask me what an absolute waste of time is?
What's an absolute waste of time?
Kenny Pickett is the biggest waste of time in the NFL right now. Why is he on the roster? I'll tell you why. They're going to try to trade him before the year. I don't think he plays a snap for the Cleveland Browns, Kenny Pickett. Joe Flacco would start the year. I would 100% take the over on Shador in the 600.5 yards.
Next stop.
Los Angeles, California, where Matt Stafford hasn't thrown a pass this training camp due to an aggravated disc in his back that required an epidural. Concern levels for a team who is in win-now mode after signing Devontae Adams and paying Kyren Williams.
By the way, I think an epidural is what women actually do when they're giving birth. So, like, this is kind of a big injury, right?
Yeah,
a big deal.
You would think.
Ask me the question again, Dame.
Is there any concern levels for a team who you would assume is in win now mode after signing Devontae Adams and paying Kyren Williams?
I mean, if Stafford can't go, it's I think season over. Bro, it's like any team with their any team that doesn't have their starting quarterback. Ask the Dallas Cowboys that last year. Ask the San Francisco 49ers that last year. It's tough to play without your starting quarterback. If Stafford can't go, absolutely, I will be worried. My best guess is that Stafford suits up week 1, though. I think the Rams are going to be just fine. I will say this, tough division, Dame. Sam Darnold in Seattle, Brock Purdy in San Francisco. I think those are two teams. Seattle won 10 games last year, missed the playoffs, 10-7. McDonald's first year there in Seattle. And then San Francisco down year because of what I just said, injuries, lack of good quarterback play. Stafford will play, but if he doesn't play, you bet your bottom dollar that you should be worried.
Next stop.
All right, now we're headed to Chicago, Illinois with CCAT, where Courtney Cronin reports that Ben Johnson said Caleb Williams and other starters won't start in preseason week 1. Is that a mistake? How do you feel about starters playing in the preseason?
I think it is a mistake. You play the guys. Like, I don't know. Did Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase play last night, Dame?
Yeah.
They looked pretty good. They looked pretty good, huh? I don't know. I have scars from my favorite team not playing starters and not being ready for the season. Ben Johnson knows 15,000 times more NFL and football that I know. I understand that. If he thinks it's the right call, fair play to him. To answer your question, I play the starters in preseason for at least a series. Come on, man. Get their beak wet. Ever seen Godfather, Dame? Godfather 2?
Yep.
It's enough to get my beak wet. It's just enough to wet my beak. Yeah, play the damn starters.
Next stop.
Now we're headed to college football, where we're 2 weeks out of week 0. Mike, what are the storylines you are following closely this season?
So we went through Texas, we went through Penn State, we went through Clemson. LSU, we'll get through the Florida teams and all that. I want to start with LSU. Brian Kelly's on the hot seat, for those of you that don't know. He's had more money than God handed to him by boosters and the university. And they've lost every single opener that they've had to start the year. They lost 2 times to Florida State. By the way, I want to set the record straight. People in this office think I hate Florida State. I don't hate Florida State. I don't hate Florida State, guys. All right? If anything, I find myself rooting for Florida State in that rivalry against Miami more than I find myself rooting for Miami against Florida State. With that said, I don't like how Norvell handled getting snubbed in the college football playoff. They got their butt kicked against Georgia in an embarrassing fashion. And I don't care what y'all say. It bled over into the year where you won 2 games and had the worst year in 50 years. I don't hate Florida State. I'm a realist. I'm going to tell you how it is. You're playing to get in a bowl game next year. and Norvell's coaching for his job. Is that enough on Florida State? Can I get back to LSU, Damian Perez?
Yes.
Did I set the record straight on Florida State?
I think you did.
I don't hate Florida State. I tell you how it is. You won 2 games last year, and you were a disgrace in that bowl game against Georgia. And thank God you didn't make the playoff. You would have put us all to bed. Michigan would have won 24-3, and it would have been the worst watch ever. We done? Brian Kelly needs to win a big game for LSU. Okay? Needs to win that game against Clemson. If they don't win the game against Clemson, you got one of the hardest. You're playing the SEC, bro. The back-end teams in the SEC are better than the back-end teams in the Big Ten. It's a Big Ten Mike telling you that, okay? Are the top-heavy teams in the Big Ten better? Absolutely. But the Kentuckies, square up Kentucky and Purdue. Kentucky win by 30 points. LSU and Kelly, storyline, hot seat. Brian Kelly better make the college football playoff. We went through Bama a little bit. DeBoer needs to make the playoff. Both of these teams need to compete for the SEC championship and make the college football playoff in LSU and Alabama. DeBoer won 9 games last year. It's not going to fly this year. They gave him money. They reloaded on the defensive end where they struggled last year, which wasn't a surprise, by the way. Nick Saban, best coach ever, arguably the best defensive coach ever, gone. Wasn't there last year. They struggled defensively. Wasn't shocked by that. But DeBoer tried to fix that. I think the biggest thing is the quarterback situation. Jalen Milroe, in my opinion, did not look good for the full 12 games and the bowl game. He did not ever take that next step we thought, and it showed in the draft. Was selected in the 5th round. The Florida Gators, okay? Is Lagway the deal? Is he the real deal? Did you make the right decision keeping Billy Napier around? Lagway's dealing with an injury. You got the hardest schedule in college football. Good luck. The Miami Hurricanes make the ACC championship. Compete for the college football playoff. Got a bad taste in my mouth after that team lost 2 out of their last 3. By the way, lost to Cuse, Fran Brown. Fair play to Fran Brown and Cuse. Going to be a good team next year. One of our MCs played college football there. Or football there in Lucas Rubio. I didn't get to Michigan, but it's Michigan.
It's probably better that way.
It's Michigan. They'll lose 4 games and make the Mickey Mouse Bowl game. They'll win a national championship, though, in 20 years. They'll be okay. Folks,
now, I will ask you before we go to the next segment.
Yep.
Will Ohio State beat Michigan this season?
Can I plead the 5th? It's in the big house. Probably not. But, Damian, my dad and I think we might go to the game. If we go to the game, they will win. The Rizzo record in the big house, any guesses?
What's that?
7-0.
Wow.
I've been there 3 times, 3-0. The old man's been there 4.
So you obviously didn't go last year.
I haven't went since 2000 and... trying to think. When was I in school, Damian? When was the year that what's-his-face did the middle fingers in the end zone? That was the last time I was there. He got ejected. One of our linemen got ejected from the game, and he put the double bird. Look up that meme. Pretty funny.
What a way to go.
That was a get around. I got to get to Jonathan Zaslow. I got so much football for Zaz. My head is spinning. Jonathan Zaslow, the voice of the 305. You can listen to him on the Zaslow Show 2.0. Always great when he's on Le Batard. You can see Zaz everywhere. ESPN Radio. He's filling in for Joe and Q all the time, too. He's got the college football show. Can't wait to talk to our guy Zaz coming up next.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 1063.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
What if every use of your debit card turns spare change into something meaningful, like growing your savings and supporting local community causes? With Flagler Credit Union's Impact Checking with Everyday Change, your spare change can have big impact. Each transaction can be rounded up to grow your savings and support nonprofits that provide meals, shelter, and essential services locally. Make an impact in your life and in your community. Open your Impact Checking account today. Insured by NCUA, official credit union of Florida Atlantic University Athletics.
Lamar Jackson, Devin Singletary, Kyer Elam, these are just some of the players that have graced the top 63 list. Who will be next? Find out Saturday, August 9th at the 2025 Top 63 Awards, presented by HSS Florida. We're counting down the top 63 athletes in Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast and recognizing the top 20 flag football stars. Watch it live on ESPN West Palm's YouTube starting at 7 p.m. The Top 63 Awards are also presented by Sinorama West Palm Beach, Duffy's Sports Grill, and Land Rover Palm Beach.
Dinner's ready. All right, is everyone here? Where's Michael? Food's getting cold.
Every day, 9 people on our Florida roadways won't make it home. Don't let it be you or someone you love.
Michael, is that you? Officer?
Ma'am, I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share.
Michael never made it home. Buckle up. Every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
Kaiser University's flagship campus. The 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 26 national championships, including back-to-back-to-back lacrosse titles, and they just won their first ever national championship for men's tennis. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest on the championship flagship campus of Kaiser University.
Elevate your drive with the new 2026 Range Rover Velar P250S, where sleek design meets powerful performance. Lease it today for just $749 a month for 36 months, with $6,995 due at signing. This is your chance to command the road in signature Range Rover style. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and make sophistication yours. Land Rover, above and beyond.
Want to bet on sports but no clue where to start? Millions of players are already making moves on Hard Rock Bet. Your friends might be winning. Why not you? Bet with confidence. Bets by real players help guide your picks. Go with the crowd and cash in on the wins. Any pick that catches your eye. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us. New players bet $5 and get $150 instantly in bonus bets. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
The weather is heating up and summer is here. Stay cool with EDS Air Conditioning. Right now, qualified customers can take advantage of 0% interest for 60 months on a brand new AC. Hot streaks belong in sports, not in your home. With over 800 Google reviews and a 4.8 star rating, EDS is the name you can trust since 2006. Visit EDSisyes.com today. Game day comfort starts now. Don't sweat the small stuff.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
The man your man could smell it.
Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
Streaming live on YouTube.
You're gonna break up with me because of what I do on the radio?
Here's Theo Dorsey.
Mike Rizzo filling in for Theo Dorsey, Damian Perez in for CCAT. We are theoretically speaking today on ESPN 1063. It's time to welcome in friend of show, voice of the 305, Jonathan Zaslow.
You might know him as the Cooper City Rattlesnake. He's the human flamethrower of Miami sports radio.
Hey, you could be a maniac without being a jerk.
The preacher of the Pat Riley gospel.
They don't complain. They don't make excuses. This is the NBA. Deal with it.
The mayor of Dolphins Delusion.
Can the Bills offense keep up with the Dolphins offense?
And the only guy who can go from breaking down the Panthers power play to cutting a full-blown Ric Flair promo. Woo! Jonathan Zaslow is the voice of the 305.
Zaz, what's going on, partner?
How you doing, Mike? I'm very excited, all right? I'm very excited because the weekend is here, and about 90 minutes from now, me and my boys, we're going to the movies. We love going to see the horror films in the theaters, all right? I can't wait to see this. We're going to see Weapons. I have been waiting to see this movie. It looks very, very scary. It's the movie with the kids where they all run out of their home in the middle of the night to never return, and we don't know why. I got to find out why, Mike. I'm going to find out this afternoon.
Zaz, what was the last good scary movie that you actually saw in theaters? Be honest with me.
We see all the scary movies in the theaters. The last scary movie...
Like, good one that you're like, wow, I would recommend that. Because, listen, I like them too. more often than not, Zaz, I'm usually left for yearning a little bit more.
Nah, we usually really like the ones that, I mean, we don't see every scary movie.
Right, right.
If some of them look stupid, but, maybe the last one, Smile 2, we saw in theaters. We love the Smile movies. Those movies are scary, man. So, yeah, we're into the horror movies. We love it.
Zaz, The Ring, I mean, I had to be 9, 10 when The Ring came out.
Scary movie
oh
when
my
it first
God.
comes out.
Dude, I had to sleep with the parents.
Horror movies now are very violent, very gory. Like this one I'm expecting. It's supposed to be pretty gory. It's by the director. His first film was Barbarian, which was like 4 or 5 years ago. We saw Barbarian at the years. That movie's crazy. So, yeah, we're really into this. I can't wait.
And then lastly, Zaz, the other movie that scared the dickens out of me, it was the kids couldn't see the sun. They only had a mother. And like at the end of the movie, it might have been called The Others or something. I don't know. Those were like
Bird Box.
Dude, Zaz, kids couldn't see the sun. I do this with everybody when I talk scary movies. I can never remember the movie, the damn movie name. The kids couldn't see the sun, and I'll find you the title, but it scared the living hell out of me. At the end of the movie, there was a bunch of dead people sitting at the table, but they were alive with white eyes. Couldn't sleep.
Oh, I mean, The Others, I'm pretty sure that's a Nicole Kidman movie, but it wasn't really like it was a suspense movie, I guess, but I wouldn't have classified
Zaz, I'll look that up while you're giving me some answers, partner, because I'll tell you what. Do you want to know what screams the preseason to me, partner? A tie, a guy's finger pointing the other direction, and Joe Burrow looking like an MVP candidate. Okay, is football back or what, Zaz?
Yeah, it's interesting because, the way that it used to be with the preseason schedule, you got the 4 games, and all right, in the first game, you're not going to see any starters. And then in the second game, they'll play a little bit. And then the third game, the starters are going to play a lot. And then in the fourth game, it's just guys trying to win a job. Now, because there's only 3, every team just kind of has their own rules. You don't really know who's going to wind up playing. And, for instance, last night, Joe Burrow, he played a little bit, and you look at the Eagles, they didn't play Jalen Hurts, and you look at the first game with the Colts, and all right, Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones both played. So you don't really know what each team is going to do. They kind of just do it on their own now. But the Anthony Richardson situation, the thing that stood out to me, obviously he is injury prone. We know that. And it's a freak injury, nonetheless, with the finger, bent 90 degrees. But the thing that was most jarring to me, the thing that stood out the most to me with Anthony Richardson last night was he's in his 3rd year in the league, all right? And, okay, there's still a lot of room for improvement because he hasn't played a ton. But in your 3rd year in the league, you have to at least have an idea what the defense is going to do. The line of scrimmage, you survey what's going on, you know your play, you know your running back who's to the right of you, he's going out to the flat to try and catch a pass. Okay, well, that guy right there, if he blitzes, there's going to be no one blocking him. And, he didn't even look over there.
No.
And the guy comes untouched and lays him out, and he breaks a finger. That's... When you don't know what's going on out, it's such a violent and fast game. And if you don't know what's going on out there on the football field, that's actually how you get hurt.
Yep.
So we could say that, hey, it's a freak injury. Well, not so much because he doesn't know what he's looking at out there. And if you don't know what you're looking at out there, you can get hurt. And in your 3rd year in the league, you got to know that guy's coming at you. And he never even looked at him.
The quarterback room of Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson, I don't wish that upon my worst enemy. We talk a lot about how Cleveland's dealing with some things. I think Indianapolis, too, Zaz, certainly is dealing a lot. Let's go to Cleveland next, Zaz. You got any interest in watching Shedeur Sanders probably play 3/4 of football tonight?
I think Shedeur Sanders is a really interesting thing because, going back to these last couple years in school, right, where the whole thing with his father, of course, and Shedeur, he's super braggadocious, and he's cocky, and he's arrogant, and he's got the diamonds and the jewelry and the big car, and it's really easy to root against him. And, you create a lot of enemies like that. And now, dropping to the 5th round, and he's the 4th-string quarterback, I feel like the narrative's kind of shifted. I feel like there's a lot of people out there who may be doing a 180 on Shedeur, and he's an underdog now. And so now you got people who are actually rooting for him. I think it's a cool story. Now, I'm not going to tell you that I'm going to sit in the Zaslow Mansion family room on a Friday night and watch Cleveland Browns preseason football. I'm not a loser, but I am going to check on, the ESPN app. I'm going to be checking the box score and seeing what he does. I think it's a fun story now.
Zaz, this loser will be watching every single
but you're a Browns fan at least, all right? Like, I'm going to pull the loser move with the Dolphins on Sunday.
Says I'm laughing so hard because it is so true. A true loser has to watch a full game of preseason football on a Friday night.
Yeah.
And that is exactly, I'm not going, Zaz, I don't got a date. It's beautiful South Florida, a lot going on at night. This loser is going to be held up in his apartment watching Browns football. Now, Zaz, let's switch over to Miami. I brought this up to Damien. Let's do our Dolphins. Mm-hmm. I talked about this with Damien. I probably set Tua games played at 10.5. Do you think he plays more than 10.5 games next year? And Zaz, you think that's fair? Is 10 a fair number?
Well, of course it's fair,
It's like he played 13, 7. He played all 17 back in 2023 when he went to the playoffs. But it's like, I think 10.5 is a fair number to set things at. Says I'd probably go under. That's the sad part. I probably would go under.
It's definitely fair, and it's a total disaster if that number, if he's anywhere close to that number. Realistically, they need him to play every game, and it's happened, all right? But realistically, they need him to play every game for this team to have any chance of going to the postseason. But, he's a couple times with the injuries and the concussions, it's because he plays reckless. It's not necessarily a freak injury. It's, hey, man, you don't really need that extra yard. Or, hey, let's not dive head first. He's just got to be smarter out there. Sometimes he comes off as pretty reckless.
Zaz, how done are you with this Micah Parsons situation? I feel dirty even asking about it because I think it's my opinion, it's one of those situations where Jerry's going to pay. And he's probably going to get that 42 that he's looking for to be higher than Watt and Garrett. But where are you at with this Micah Parsons situation? You buying any stock into him possibly being traded?
Well, he's not going to be traded. I mean, Jerry Jones said we're not trading him.
Right.
He's not going to trade him.
Right.
And obviously this deal is going to get done because I've seen this movie before. All right. This is literally every single season going into a new Cowboys year. And Jerry Jones, they always end up paying. They end up paying a little bit more because he likes being out there in the news. And when you're the last one to sign, you're going to wind up having to pay more than the last guy. But the thing is, when is the last time that the Cowboys and Jerry Jones have ever lost the guy they wanted to keep? They never actually lose the guy, all right? So there is a history there where when Jerry Jones wants the star player, he keeps the star player. So there's no reason to believe that Micah Parsons is not going to be on the Cowboys and that he's not going to get a new deal.
I mean, it's such a waste of time. You got to talk about it. It's in the news. Every time I see it, it's like, this is the biggest waste of time, but you got to do it. Now, Zaz, you're host of college football, the Tailgate Tour. Can you believe, partner, we're 14 days away? We're 14 days away from week 0.
It's great. We're going to be on the road, me and Amber Wilson, college football tailgate beginning week 1. We will be on the road for college football tailgate. And, we're going to be in Columbus for Ohio State, Texas. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be great. We're going to have a great year of college football coverage.
Now, Zaz, what do you think is the biggest storyline as we're 2 weeks out? Is it Arch Manning? Could it be Penn State, now or never? One of the Florida teams? Is it Dabo Swinney possibly being back? All of the pressure in the SEC of LSU and Alabama to make the playoff. What's the biggest storyline right now?
Arch Manning, I think, is the biggest story. Arch Manning's the biggest story. Texas, we know they were a big-time contender last year, and Arch Manning's been waiting in the wings, and now it's finally his shot here. And I can't recall a time where a Heisman favorite, because he's the favorite, I can't remember, I think he's plus 600.
Yep.
I can't remember a time where the Heisman favorite going into a season is a guy who has just not played yet. I mean, I get it. He played 3 games last year, but it's UT San Antonio and UL Monroe and Mississippi State, all right? Not exactly, murderer's row there. I can't remember a Heisman favorite being a guy who really has no resume. This is the biggest story going into the season.
Agreed, and Zaz, the one saving grace I have as a Buckeye is it's a home game. And Texas might have the best defense. They might have Arch Manning, but to be at home in that game, I think is pretty big. I'm looking forward to hearing you and Amber on the road for the tailgate. Now, Zaz, I saw Superman, and I loved it.
Yep,
I loved it. I loved it. And listen, I understand why people don't. How about that? I understand why people don't, but I loved Guardians of the Galaxy, and I compare it to that. I compare it to Guardians of the Galaxy-esque style comedy. I was completely fine, and I don't want to spoil the movie, but I was completely fine with how it went, too. people are upset. Oh, he got his butt beat the whole time. It's a superhero movie. I don't know what people want.
Yeah, I don't care about that. I found, it's not any fun if he's kicking everybody's butt the entire movie.
Right.
No, I loved it. I laughed the entire movie. I had a smile on my face the entire movie. It was the most enjoyable superhero movie I've ever seen. I loved it. I can't wait till the next one.
Now, Zaz, we can nerd out a little bit without my cohort, usually Colin Russo, being here. So let's nerd out. Marvel or DC? What are you most looking forward to in the future? You've seen. I'm assuming you've seen all the recent Marvel.
Marvel.
Still, Zaz, still.
Well, yeah. This
even
Avengers
with Gunn.
Doomsday. I'm very, very looking forward to Doom and how they do all of that. I just saw Fantastic Four.
Yeah, how was that? I did mean to ask. How was that?
I really liked it, and I'm looking forward to Doom. I mean, he's a very big deal. That's as big a villain in Marvel Comics as there is. And the Spider-Man movie is going to come out immediately after Avengers Doomsday, which I'm very much looking forward to because nobody knows who Peter Parker is anymore.
Right.
No, I'm still very, very looking forward to everything Marvel's got coming up.
Now, Zaz, is I forget his name. I don't know how I forget his name. Spider-Man. Is it the same Spider-Man?
Tom Holland, yes.
Is this still Tom? Okay. Yeah. Because I remember the last Spider-Man movie I saw was Jake Gyllenhaal was the villain, and it was right after Endgame.
Oh, well, that's the second Spider-Man.
I actually enjoyed it. Far From Home?
That's Far From Home. And then you got No Way Home, which is the multiverse, and you got the other Spider-Man in it also, and that movie's awesome. I love that movie.
I gotta pick up there. I gotta pick up on the Spider-Man movies.
Great movie.
From there. And I know Marvel had this big thing with Kang the Conqueror and all this situation.
They're dumping that.
Yeah, they dumped all that, but I need to get back into it. One of my buddies here that we work with says Andrew, he's really into it. He's been begging me to get back into it. I think one of these weekends says
go see Spider-Man No Way Home. That's a great movie.
I'm gonna do about being a loser in my apartment. I'm gonna do that and watch Marvel movies next weekend as I get ready for college football here, Zaz. But partner, where can we hear you? Where can we hear more of Jonathan Zaslow?
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Zaslow Show 2.0, Monday through Friday, wherever you get your podcasts. You just search Zaslow Show 2.0. It pops up right there, and we cover everything South Florida, everything 305, and every episode is presented by Anajar and Levine, Accident Attorneys, 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733.
Zaz, I need to catch up on wrestling. How was SmackDown? How was that experience with your son? Was it your youngest that you were with? I saw the pictures.
SummerSlam last
Looked
weekend.
amazing. Amazing.
We had such a good time. The main events both nights were fantastic. I'm afraid to look at what the credit card bill is. All right, that's not going to be fun. But we sat ringside. We had a great time. I love going to WWE Live. It's the best show on earth.
Yeah, and as you know, I've gotten into it, and I've really gotten into the characters. My favorite character is Seth Rollins.
Oh, well, then you got to go back and watch night one of SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Huge moment, one of the big moments of all time for Seth Rollins.
Oh!
Watch it. Go back.
He has the best. He says obviously Undertaker and stuff, theme songs, but I think right now, even better than Jey Uso, I think he has the best theme song. Burn it all. Burn it to the ground, Zaz.
You love singing it.
Burn it to the ground. Zaz, appreciate you. I'm looking forward to hearing you on the Tailgate Show here, too, coming up, being such a college football snob. And we'll catch up with you next week, okay, partner?
Awesome. Thanks, Mike. Take it easy, man.
Jonathan Zaslow, voice of the 305, joining us on Theoretically Speaking. When we come back, we will get a little Christina Costanza in here. We'll do the happy hour with Tina. And just a reminder, too, Russo and Rizzo Day going to be live from F45. They got that run club coming up. So you're going to be here. Colin and I, by the way, my 40 time is going to be tested, Dame. The reason I bring that up, my 40 time is about to be tested here. So for those of you who are familiar where our studios are, our City Place studios, we're about like a 3-4 minute walk?
Yeah, roughly.
So if I end the show at 55, Christina Costanza and I are going to have to, do you think we're going to have to run to make the show? Now, Tina's not going to be on air, but she's going to go, but
You probably will, yeah.
Am I going to have to run?
Because you'll have around just under 8 minutes to kind of get over there.
It's going to be hot.
Yeah. Take maybe switch your shirt, workout shirt.
A little 40 time?
Stretch out those hamstrings, I will say.
Maybe I can, not pull a hammy. Now, Dame, let's put it this way. I run a 5K about 5-6 days a week, which is 3.2-ish. But I can't tell you the last time I sprinted. When was the last time you sprinted?
I'll hit like 8 9 on the treadmill, but that's about it.
So you do that consistently. See, I don't do that.
I do the hit workouts.
Yeah, high intensity. I trot. It's a nice gallop. It's a trot. Like, I'm trying to think the last time I played basketball. Dude, I haven't sprinted in a while. Should I start stretching here in the City Place Studios?
Definitely, because it's one thing is trotting, like you're saying, and another thing is just being explosive and hitting a sprint.
Thank you to Jonathan Zazzle for joining us once again. Zaz, the voice of the 305. You can hear him on the Zazzle Show 2.0. Does a great job on Le Batard as well. And then obviously ESPN Radio with the college football tailgate coming up. He's going to be live in Columbus. It's going to be a great, great time listening to Zaz all college football season long. Mike Rizzo filling in for Theo. Damian Perez filling in for CCAT. We are theoretically speaking today on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
It's Theo Dorsey, and I'm feeling hot, hot, hot. Temperatures are up, but your water shouldn't be full of mystery floaties. Culligan's got your back with water testing and reverse osmosis systems to keep things clean, cool, and crisp this summer. And get this, you can try it for just $10 a month. Stay cool, stay hydrated, and stop drinking who knows what. Visit Culligan.com today to schedule your free water test.
Hey, Culligan man!
Get ready, South Florida. It's the 12th annual Boca Raton Bowl. Tuesday, December 23rd, 2 p.m. at FAU's Flagler Credit Union Stadium. Two of the best group of 5 teams go head-to-head in the ultimate holiday showdown. Over 150 players have gone from this field to the NFL. Who's next? Visit BocaRatonBowl.com for the latest, including when tickets will go on sale. The 12th annual Boca Raton Bowl, Tuesday, December 23rd, 2 p.m. at Flagler Credit Union Stadium.
It's Tina. You know how important it is to keep your car running. And when it comes to my car, I only trust St. Lucie Battery and Tire. They've been taking care of South Florida for over 50 years, and they're still family-owned. Need new tires? They've got all the big brands. Battery issues? They've got it. Cars, trucks, boats, RVs, and even commercial fleets. And if you ever get stuck, their 24/7 roadside emergency service is a total lifesaver. Go see my friends at St. Lucie Battery and Tire, slbt.com. They'll keep you going.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Trans World Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane.
It's DQ Grill and Chill's new Superman Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard. This limited time treat combines DQ's signature soft serve, dyed blue, of course, along with sugar cookie dough, cake batter flavor, and sprinkles. The Superman Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard is available for a limited time only at DQ Grill and Chill with 2 locations, 4828 Lake Worth Road and US 1, just south of North Lake.
Banyan Printing. For 47 years, the trusted partner for all your printing, mailing, and signage needs. And 2025 just brought something big to Banyan. Introducing Banyan's new press. Bigger, faster, and more competitively priced than anything you'll find anywhere in the Palm Beaches. Think variable data postcards, bulk mailings, and high-quality print on stocks up to a 24-point board. Banyan Printing. Visit banyanonline.com and discover how your business's printing materials can get bigger and better.
Kaiser University's flagship campus. The 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 26 national championships, including back-to-back-to-back lacrosse titles, and they just won their first ever national championship for men's tennis. Visit KUCHawks.com for the latest on the championship flagship campus of Kaiser University.
As a law enforcement officer, safe roads are one of my top priorities, ensuring everyone can get home safely each day. Some never will, due to aggressive driving, being distracted, or speeding on the roads. And too often, that results in the toughest part of my job, and the longest walk in my life. I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
9 people will be killed on our Florida roadways today. Don't let it be you or a person you love. Buckle up every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
The weather is heating up and summer is here. Stay cool with EDS air conditioning. Right now, qualified customers can take advantage of 0% interest for 60 months on a brand new AC. Hot streaks belong in sports, not in your home. With over 800 Google reviews and a 4.8 star rating, EDS is the name you can trust since 2006. Visit EDSIsYes.com today. Game day comfort starts now. Don't sweat the small stuff.
To help those who want to be helped, but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
The St. Lucie Mets are in the home stretch, and you don't want to miss it. August brings 15 home games to Clover Park, packed with fireworks, and fan favorites like $2 beer, hot dogs, soda, and popcorn on select nights. It's affordable, family-friendly fun on the Treasure Coast. And in September, playoff baseball comes to Port St. Lucie. Catch the future stars of the big leagues now. Every game is a new memory waiting to happen. Get tickets and more info at stluciemets.com.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
Mike Rizzo filling in for Theo Dorsey. Damian Perez in for Christian Cat. And joining us now is none other than Tina for the happy hour. We're going to be live coming up at F45. And I'll tell you what, man, Tina, welcome onto the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's been a really fun Friday here in the office.
Hasn't it? Well, what's going on? I've missed basically the whole thing.
I know you came in at like 1 p.m. today. So
that's not true.
You
wait a minute. No. I came in at 11:30 today. I was in here at 11:30.
No, I don't think so.
Absolutely.
I don't think so.
I was in at 11:30 today.
Okay, well, I don't know where you were hiding, but
I'm in my dungeon. I was making sound. I was doing the show.
Okay, whatever you say. We were just having fun in the office.
Dame, shots fired. I was in at 11:30. At least I came in today on like 80% of the office.
Some of them are out at Hard Rock Stadium. There's others who
Dame,
I know where they're at. They're not. They're doing stuff.
Okay, yeah. John O'Terry's probably golfing.
Nope, we FaceTimed him actually to see if he was golfing, and he wasn't. He was working from home.
John, by the way, great friend. John O'Terry, probably golfing. But T, listen, we're going to be live at F45, and I know you love going to F45, getting that workout in Gardens. But explain the run club that's going to be happening tonight, because it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes. So F45 West Palm Beach is putting on a free run club. Anyone can join. You don't have to be a member of F45 to be there. It's going to start at 6:30. They're going to do a 2-mile little run group, a 4-mile run group, and even a walking group if you don't want to run. It is their run club that's going to happen on Fridays at 6:30 p.m. here in downtown West Palm Beach at F45 West Palm Beach. It's going on today. Russo and Rizzo will be live there from 4 to 6. You can come meet the guys if you want to. But F45 West Palm Beach, F45 Palm Beach Gardens, if you can't make the run club tonight or any other run club, that they have, go try a 45-minute workout. First class is free. They've got classes in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon. You don't have to think about it. You walk into the class. You have an instructor there to help you. The workouts are on screens. There's a timer going on. You literally just walk in. It tells you everything to do. You walk out, leaving amazing, a good sweat. And if you stick with it, I promise you will see the results. If those locations don't work for you, look at f45training.com to find the closest location to you.
T, have you done run clubs before? I'm a huge runner. I've never actually done a legitimate run club.
Yeah, I go to a few run clubs. I used to last year, now almost a year ago, when I was training for my marathon. There was an F45 Gardens run club that we would do every Saturday morning. There is also 2 during the week that I'll go to here and there, one on Wednesday, one on Thursday in Jupiter. So I've attended a few different run clubs. And then I'll be popping by the West Palm one at F45 when I can.
Absolutely. And
run clubs are great because it's a great way to meet people. Also, you don't have to, like, one of the run clubs I go to, there's people that are like super fast and there's some that are just more casual runners. It's just fun to do it in a group. Sometimes there's someone who has like a speaker there that's running throughout it, and it's good just to, again, like, socialize, meet people, catch up with friends. Like me and a few of my girlfriends go, and that's like we're just like jogging and catching up on like the day, life, whatnot. So I like run clubs.
so, like, for me, like, I would definitely be towards the back end, but I run for distance, not time, if that makes sense. Like, I would totally be at my steady trot, just going.
Yeah, that's totally fine. That's like when I did my marathon, it wasn't about, I didn't do it for a time. I had a time in mind that I wanted to, do the 26 miles in, but really it was just about finishing the race and being able to complete the full marathon.
Yeah.
And when I do run clubs as well, most of the time it is for more socializing. If I'm trying to race, with time, I'm probably running on my own. Some of these run clubs, though, because it is just 3 miles, that we're doing, or a 5K, I will decide, like, that day, maybe I want to, like, pick it up a little bit and see how fast I can really go. But it's really up to you.
Do you want to know what I really didn't realize what was tough until I actually did it for the first time in about 10 years?
What's that?
It was running on the beach.
Like on the
the
sand?
On the physical sand.
That's actually terrible for you.
Oh, yeah.
It's
but
terrible
it was
for your knees. Yeah.
It was a hell of a workout. And it was nice to have the waves next to me, too. You got to realize, I didn't live here my whole life.
Yes,
all right?
that's true.
That's like something for me, running on the beach. That's, I don't want to say inspiring. I don't know. I feel like running on the beach really is just one of those things where it's like very, I guess, satisfying. Does that make sense?
Totally. I feel spoiled every time that I walk on Saturday mornings along the beach. I'm like, I am so spoiled that this is basically my backyard. I'm living 5 minutes from this. And every Saturday that I go to a walk, that I just have palm trees, waves, the beach right next to me. And it's gorgeous.
Yeah. I just, it's like, it would run, stop, walk for a little bit, run, stop. Cause like you said, my knee, there's something going on with my meniscus that I kind of am just kind of ignoring right now. It's one of those things, T, where it's pain, but like you can't even tell it's there. And it's like, it's not like, but it's like, that's there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm telling myself it's there. It doesn't hurt, but why is it there, kind of thing.
That's
you know
what
I'm saying?
Yes. My hamstring's been a little sore the past few weeks. And it's not where I shouldn't work out because it doesn't bother me that much, but I definitely realize it and like feel, I'm like, okay, like my hamstring's a little tight. Like, I don't think this is just a soreness, but I'm just ignoring it until, maybe I can't walk.
And
it's
something. It's like one of those things like, T, you know what we do, and we're busybodies, everyone is, but like, am I really going to get that looked at and possibly have surgery and be that guy in a knee cast? I don't even know what a knee cast looks like. Isn't it like a full leg cast? Like, I'd have to be roaming around on one of those scooters.
So
imagine me on one of those scooters.
that would
that
be
not be
entertaining.
a scene?
I have a 2-week rule. So I used to always, when I would, maybe like jam my finger, be like, oh, gotta go to urgent care, gotta go get this looked at. And I was going to urgent care all the time, and nothing was wrong.
Yeah.
It was just like a pain that was, temporary, and then nothing was wrong. And I spent money, and I'm like, okay, I'm giving myself a 2-week rule that if I have an injury that isn't obvious that I have to go to the hospital or the doctors or something, where it's clear that this is broken or whatnot, that if it hurts after 2 weeks, then I'll go get it checked out.
Yep.
So I have a rule for myself now. So I stopped going to urgent care all the time. And if it hurts after 2 weeks, then I will go to the doctor and get it looked at.
Yeah, I am total hypochondriac. If I have a cold, I think I'm dying. If I,
we know. You admitted that you were dramatic, though. The last cold you had, you were like, yeah, I'm a little dramatic. You admitted it.
But
I appreciate you admitting that. Most guys are very dramatic when they have a cold.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think I'm dying. I'll call my mom, and it's like, all right, what do I do? She goes, you literally just take your medicine and lay down on the couch. You know, they feel like to your point, I feel like all guys to an extent, they think they're
dying when they have a cold. Oh, my goodness.
When I can't, like me, as much as I move and I can't sit still. If I have to my biggest fear is laying on the couch for like hours on end and not being able to move. You know what I mean? I gotta be doing something.
Okay.
I couldn't even play. I was so sick to the point, and T, you know how much I love video games? I couldn't even play video games. That's how sick I was. And that was the most recent. So I was sick, 3 weeks? Damien, do you remember 3 weeks ago?
You were sick when Colin was in
Peru?
It.
Yeah.
Or away? Something like that?
And I remember Andrew, our fellow teammate here at ESPN West Palm, he goes, dude, you're just at home playing video games. And I remember getting so angry at him because I was just sick as a dog on the couch. Like, I can't even play video games right now. But yeah, that is being held up on the couch or like being bedridden, one of the worst things ever.
I'm the total opposite where I basically, like, if I am cold, I have to be sent home from work. And so a few weeks ago, I was very exhausted and I knew, like, I felt sick and I was like, okay, no, like, I know that I'm now not feeling well. And then that's when I know it's like real if I send myself home. Most of the time here, teammates or my boss, my manager will have to be like, you need to go home. Like, you sound terrible. You look terrible.
Right.
You have to go home. I refuse to stay home if I'm sick unless I can really feel like, no, I am really sick and shouldn't get others sick.
Couple of things. So you mentioned you could feel when you're getting sick. I'm the same way. I texted B-Man.
Well, no,
Brian.
more like
I
it's
texted
like,
Brian. Yeah, I texted Brian Rowitz, my boss and content director here at ESPN West Palm. The night before, I texted him and Christian like, "Hey, I'm feeling it right now. I'm not sick right now, but I 100% feel it coming. I'm dazed. I'm getting a scratchy throat. My body temperature is all over the place. I felt myself legitimately getting sick, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and I'm like, thank God I said something, because I totally cannot go into work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Get everybody in the office sick. And I did that once. I came in. It was after I was somewhere already that day, and Brian and Steph looked at me and said, yeah, you're white as a sheet, and you need to go home.
Yeah.
So, yeah, certainly not fun getting sick. But I'll tell you what, it's fun when you're going to Duffy's, T, because Duffy's got plenty of things going on right now. You know they're about their award-winning wings. I personally love that hot honey garlic chicken sandwich. By the way, a lot of people don't know you could get that. They got the buffalo chicken sandwich. You could switch the flavor to hot honey. Thank me later. But T, you can tell us a lot more about our good friends at Duffy's.
Yes, my old stomping grounds, Duffy's Sports Grill. Once again, they were voted the best sports grill with their award-winning burgers and wings, plus weekday lunch deals, including the Duffy's Double Play starting at just $7.99 and Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. That's the best. You cannot complain about 2-for-1 all day, every day. Thursday at Duffy's are Rib Fix days after 5 p.m. Enjoy a half rack of mouth-watering ribs for just $12.99 with one side, dine-in only. Also, make sure you sign up for free to get your Duffy's MVP card and start earning rewards today. Your favorite game or sporting event is always on. They've got so many TVs. No matter where you sit at Duffy's, you've got 3 games surrounding you. You know, there's always a TV in your vision with over 80 TVs in each location. You'll never miss a minute of the game or the biggest bouts. Duffy's has all of them. Visit duffysmvp.com to learn more.
We got football season coming up. Your home for watching games is going to be at Duffy's. T, were you a good waitress? Were you a waitress, hostess at Duffy's?
I was a hostess. I did takeout, and I was a waitress as well, server.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did you call yourself a good server?
I would say I was, yeah.
Okay, good.
I got to a point where I had just about regulars all the time,
Nice.
and then I'd only probably have like one table or so that was like rotating with like, random people. But yeah, I loved being a server, and it was like so fun too to just, I feel like you gotta have like some thick skin to be a server.
100%, 110%. I know that from being a bartender. It's why I asked. It's a tough gig. It's a tough gig, but I don't know. I could definitely see T being a waitress. I feel like you're always so nice to everybody.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Let's take a timeout. When we come back, we'll continue the conversations with Tina. We'll talk a little bit more about, too, what's going on with Russo and I at F45 right here on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 1063.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
This is the Inter Miami save of the game.
Here comes Pumas in possession. We are into the 5th minute, no score. Just outside the right portion of the box. Here's a left-footed shot right on to Rocco Rios Novo. He's able to two-hand it to the ground. That was from Jose Caicedo. No problems there for Rios Novo. That is the second shot on target tonight for Pumas.
Brought to you by PNC Bank. PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865.
In South Florida, when it's time to get back in the game, there's a name you need to know. HSS Florida. HSS ranked #1 in orthopedics for 15 years in a row by U.S. News and World Report. HSS brings world-class care to Palm Beach and Wellington. Whether it's a joint replacement, sports injury, or orthopedic trauma, HSS Florida treats athletes of all ages. Visit hss.edu/Florida to schedule your consultation today. HSS Florida, where champions and everyday people alike get the care they need to stay at the top of their game.
It's Theo Dorsey, and I'm feeling hot, hot, hot. Temperatures are up, but your water shouldn't be full of mystery floaties. Culligan's got your back with water testing and reverse osmosis systems to keep things clean, cool, and crisp this summer. And get this, you can try it for just $10 a month. Stay cool, stay hydrated, and stop drinking who knows what. Visit Culligan.com today to schedule your free water test.
Hey, Culligan man!
So let it rip.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
Mike Rizzo filling in for Theo, Damien in for CCAT, Tina in for the happy hour. We are theoretically speaking today on ESPN 1063. And Tina, I'll tell you what, I need some new tires, and I think you got a spot for me to go.
I know the perfect spot for you. St. Lucie Battery and Tire. I just recently, in the past month, have had so many car issues. Like, it just all happened at once. But St. Lucie Battery and Tire has saved me every single time. They got me 4 brand new tires, and I had a battery issue a few weeks ago. Car wouldn't start, got it jumped, drove it right to St. Lucie Battery and Tire. I was in and out in 15 minutes max. Put a battery in, got me back on the road. Me and Sally Girl, my car, Sally the Sonata, are all good to go now. SLBT.com. They're not just in St. Lucie County or the Treasure Coast. They're also here in Palm Beach County. They also, just this past weekend, helped out one of our teammates, Cade Chomslin, who you hear on Theoretically Speaking with Trivia. He had some car issues. He brought it in there this past weekend. He didn't even have an appointment. They took him. He was in and out in an hour, max. It was amazing.
Nice.
Trust the experts at St. Lucie Battery and Tire. Go to slbt.com.
Now, Sally the Sonata?
Sally the Sonata.
It's awesome. I love car nicknames.
Does your car have a nickname?
So it's the Guardian.
Okay.
And
what kind of car do you have?
I have a Ford Escape SUV.
Okay.
So the reason I call it the Guardian is because there's a class of Jedi called the Jedi Guardians.
Okay.
And I thought it was pretty cool. My old car, though, had the best name ever. And my car is blue. And I wanted to name him Blue 6-2, but I couldn't. But my old car was Blue 6 because in Star Wars, Luke Skywalker's X-Wing is Red 5.
Okay.
That's its name. I named my car Blue 6.
So are all of your car names like movie related?
Usually.
Okay.
Nerdy related type of thing.
See, mine was always based on the type of car I had. So I have like a Hyundai Sonata. So my mom actually came up with Sally the Sonata. My car before my Hyundai was a Mercedes. We called her Becky the Benz.
Nice.
And then that's the only. And then I had a Chevy Malibu before that, and I don't remember a name that I had. I don't think I had a name for my Malibu.
888-760-3776 is the Baptist Health Hotline. If you have a nickname for your car, if you have a favorite nickname for your car, you could call 888-760-3776. That is the Baptist Health Hotline. My second car that I had was not nerdy related because it was my grandfather's.
Okay.
JR. I called it JR because that was his initials.
Oh, cute.
Joe Rizzo. And the license plate was JR216.
Oh, cute.
So it was always JR. And I'm not afraid to admit this. So it was a Saturn. It was like a 2001. I can't even remember the make of the vehicle, but it was a 2001 Saturn. This was post stick shift. So my stick shift was my brother's car, but I drove it for a couple of months right when I got my license. I actually took my driver's test in a stick shift. That's like my flex if I have one when it comes to driving. Fluid and stick shift, love driving it, wish I still had one. But after we had to take it back because it was on a lease, I got my grandfather. My grandmother was nice enough to give me my grandfather's car, who was deceased at the time. And my God, I had that thing for like a decade. I had that thing for a decade, college with it, post-college. And I remember when it finally couldn't go anymore, both my dad and I, when we were at the dealership, we started to cry because it was one of those moments where it was like, it was one of those things too. It's like, I tell you all the time, I have a crazy hypersensitive nose. I smell everything. People have sense. When you got in the car, it still had my grandfather's sense. You know what I mean?
Love
It's like he
that.
was there with me. So like that was the one car that I didn't have a nerdy nickname for was JR, was the Saturn, man. I drove that literally into the ground.
Wow.
I drove that thing almost 200,000 miles on it, like into the ground kind of thing. So
I don't remember if this was with you earlier this week or it was last week with Theo, but I was saying how I wish I wasn't such a brat and stubborn when I was in high school because my dad, he had a body shop like as his business, and he offered me for when I turned 16 this 1997 Jeep Wrangler.
oh my God, you didn't do it?
And he did. He's like, why don't you drive it in first and see if you like it? And, we'll go from there. If you don't like it, we'll sell it. And what we make from selling it, you can get whatever we can find. Like I end up getting a Scion TC with the money we got that car. So I drove it and I didn't really like it because it was just so like, if I did a slight little left, it like fully turned to the left. And I was a new driver. So I was like, I don't feel comfortable in.
It was a little touchy.
A little touchy. I wish though, I regret so much that I didn't take that car and keep it because I wish now I would still have that 1997 Jeep Wrangler and I could drive along Juno Beach with it and I could still have it and just like reminisce in it because now like one of my dream cars that I would love to have at some point in my life is a Jeep Wrangler. So I'm like, if I just still had this old car, I would love to cruise around with it right now. But I was such a brat and so stubborn and was like, no, I want a new car.
Let me ask you. a real car. I was about to say like,
A new
why?
car.
Oh, a new car.
I
Okay,
just was like, in that point, my dad was like, I'll paint it whatever you want. Like he had a body shop. He could do whatever I wanted to it.
dude, your dad sounds like the man.
Yeah,
giving you a free car and gonna do all the service on it. What
I
are
know,
you doing,
I know.
kid? What are you doing?
I was a brat.
Now, do the doors come off? Did the doors come off if you took them off too?
Yeah, it was a soft top. Yeah. And so I know I was stubborn and I was like wanting to be. I'm like, no, I want a newer car. I think so. I end up getting a Scion TC instead. But I regret it.
Now, T, we're talking about cars. We're always on the move. I know exactly who could help us here at ESPN 106.3 whenever we're on the move.
Yes, and if you are ever planning a move, then go with the name families across South Florida trust. Safebound Moving and Storage. They're family-owned, based right here in West Palm Beach, and proudly serving all of Florida, from the Keys to the Panhandle and everywhere in between. Whether you're moving across town, out of state, or even coming into Florida, Safebound has trained experts in the 5-star customer service to make your move smooth, safe, and stress-free. We know that moving is so stressful, it's the worst. No one actually likes moving. So leave it to Safebound Moving and Storage. They're not just about moving. They're also proud supporters of our local high school community right here in Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast. So if you're looking for reliability, professionalism, and a company that truly cares, families are safe with Safebound. Call Safebound Moving and Storage today or visit safeboundmoving.com to get your free quote.
T, we're running out of showtime here, but Damien, I want to loop you in because you heard this conversation. I had a meltdown about Star Wars early. Can you confirm?
That was all time.
I had a meltdown, and to Cade's point, he goes, how the hell didn't we get that on camera? We should have got that on camera.
Yeah,
we screwed up on that.
That's just something.
But it's one of those things that comes up so naturally.
That's what I was going to say. You
know
can't
what
recreate
I mean?
it. You can't
So
recreate it.
Jeff,
That was very natural.
Jeff, one of our marketing facilitators here.
Marketing consultants.
Thank you. That's, I struggle. He told me he didn't like the Star Wars 1 through 3, and those are my favorite movies ever.
I've never seen any.
Okay. Regardless, T, my favorite movie ever is Revenge of the Sith. It got me onto a rant where I just completely I don't even know how to. I saw red.
If someone was on the other side of the glass, I think they would have thought that conversation was like a whole different topic.
Was I not right? Was I not spitting bars though? I was right, dude. I was right on my argument.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree.
I would love to see.
Damien's like, I'm staying far away from that conversation with you.
Tina, I would have loved to see someone try to have a comeback on that. But regardless, this stems from me. My car, one of my favorite cars ever was Blue 6. My Ford Focus. Dame, it came to a point, I don't know how familiar you are with Star Wars. I would tell my astromech droid, my hypothetical astromech droid R7 to stay with the ship.
Yeah, you got me there.
Okay.
You got me exposed.
Okay.
That shows how much I know.
Do you know R2-D2?
I know enough.
Do you know
Yes,
R2?
yes,
Everyone knows who that is.
All right, he is an astromech droid, and I would say R7, stay with the ship, because Luke, Anakin, numerous times would tell R2-D2 to stay with the ship. Tina, you don't have anything like that you can nerd out with me on? Did you cartoons, anything like that you watched growing up? I'm an anime guy. Harry Potter, Star Wars, Indiana Jones.
I've never seen any Harry Potter movie. I've never seen any Star Wars movie. I like the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I am the total, as my buddies would call me sometimes, the female repellent of video games, anime, Star Wars, Harry Potter. I make it up with how charismatic I am. That's what I like to say.
Yeah.
Folks, you hear that music? That means it's time for us to go. Sometimes friends have to go away, but a part of them stays with you forever. Remember that in this life. Tina, I'm looking forward to Top 63 tomorrow. You've done a great job with all that. Looking forward to being with you tomorrow and in celebrating the top 63 players in high school football. Russo and Rizzo live at the Run Club coming up next. We're testing my 40 time here on ESPN 106.3.
It's anything but the dog days of summer at DQ Grill and Chill. All August long, grab a 4-piece chicken strip basket, crispy, golden, and delicious for just